and our history is based on some really strong business values as well. So as far as our farms, we've got properties at Tent Hill. We've sort of got about 4 properties there. Another one sort of near Gatton, a couple near Gatton. So we do about 1,000 acres all up. So we've got a packing facility, so cool room, controlled temperature packing area. And then, yeah, other lines as well. So staffing, that's our one day we take applicants. So we feel we've got a business where people want to work for us, so we feel that that's good. And we employ mostly all our own staff. So we do use one contractor for our lettuce cutting, but the rest we employ ourselves. We probably made that decision about 8 years ago to change from using predominantly contractors, because that's sort of what we all did, to employing our own. There's a few reasons behind that, cost being one. We were at the stage in our business where we could, so we had a receptionist, whereas before that was sort of in-house when we felt like it. And we were just a little bit suspicious about what the contractors were up to, so we were paying top dollar. As it turns out, after we left our main contractor, we get a letter in the mail to say that we'd owed all this money and they hadn't put the money through the books. So you sort of get these feelings in business and you've just got to run with what's best. And so yeah, unfortunately the contractor issue is still a fairly big one, but that's how we've dealt with that. And we always think, if our kids want to travel overseas and be backpackers and work, we want to treat our workers how we want our own kids to be treated. So transport and logistics for us is very easy. We're just 10 minutes outside of Gatton. Nolan's transport. Lindsay, we use predominantly Nolan's. We've got a few of our own trucks, not without their own hurdles in themselves. Our first one we bought got written off day 5. And we had another write-off last year, so out of 5 trucks we're having a great track record. Boys and their toys, I suppose. So that's what we grow: lettuce, brock, parsnips, squash potatoes, pumpkins and watermelons. And we're a seasonal supplier, so we're doing something all year round, but we're not a 12-month supplier of all of our products. So yeah, lettuce and broccoli at the moment, along with parsnips, squash potatoes, we do through August, September, October, into November. Watermelons over summer and pumpkins sort of early November, so everything crosses over. This time here is our crazy, ridiculous time. So September, if you want to see something at Windolf Farms, that's when you come. It's all happening. That's where we have our QA audits. Come on, see it all at once. As far as marketing, we produce markets into Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia. So obviously that varies with products, but we mainly use a couple in each state, and then with potatoes we spread our wings a little bit more because of the volume for a short period of time. Export, we've been exporting for about 8 years. Works well, it works well for our business, not in a huge way. But we certainly don't grow extra for export, it's just taking a little bit out of what we do. And we're supermarket suppliers as well, we actually supply both chains direct, both majors. So, never marry a farmer. That was something I always said, never going to happen. So I was actually born in New South Wales, I'm wearing maroon today, I'm a Queensland supporter. Big game tonight. But yeah, I was very young when we moved up to the Gatton area actually with my family. So my parents were from New South Wales. Dad saw an ad in the paper for a little business. He's a fitter and turner by trade, and that's where we ended up. So the reason we call ourselves Queenslanders, even though we're born in New South Wales, is all Mum and Dad's friends were all in New South Wales, and our first Origin game I remember watching as a kid, we were actually down there. So we were the Queenslanders, always have been. So never marry a farmer, so that obviously happened. So no farming background. So yeah, just grew up in the area where I live now, and that was another never. I was never going to live in Gatton. Went to uni after school, only did 12 months, and then got a job in banking in Westpac at that time. Thought I'll study part-time. I was in a bit of a jazz band and having fun and whatnot. Didn't end up studying part-time, didn't think I had time back then. Looking back, had plenty. Got married in there somewhere, and then Paul and myself, I was walking down the street in Gatton, saw a little business and just walked in and said, "Is this for sale?" and had no intentions, just asked and ended up buying that. So it was a little sewing machine, some craft, baby goods type store. So I ran that for 3.5 years, and during that time we had a couple of our kids. So I don't know what maternity leave means, because I've never had it, I've always worked. So became a mum, that's pretty important. At that point, 3 children. After that, did a little bit of part-time work, and I went back to uni and studied part-time when our then youngest was 2, so just did that as well as working and all that sort of thing that you do. Started working in the business, Windolf Farms. Then we transitioned over to owning, finished uni, and full-time work was all good. Oops, I just turned it off. Then this happened. So, 3 kids, you know, all sorted, 2 years apart, working, finished uni, bang, not baby. Away we go. So, that's us, that's my 4. So I've got one at 3rd year uni, she's down the coast here. My boy is doing an apprenticeship with the local Toyota dealership. Second oldest girl is at high school, grade 11, and that's our little fella Harry. So we've got 9.5 years difference between the 3 and him. But he's a bit of a pleasure, and he's grown up at Windolf Farms. So he's come to work basically the day I got home from hospital. He's just been there. He's actually got a fantastic personality, because I think he's picked up the best bits of everyone that we work with, and he's a lot of fun. So yeah, manager of finance and compliance, just basically run the office. So there are 6 of us in the business. Obviously with every team there's a captain, so that's Paul, my husband. He sort of runs the whole show, and then I do the office side of things, and then we all work as a team together within that. So yeah, all aspects of finance for sort of a medium-sized business with multiple entities. Compliance, so obviously quality assurance, WH&S, and we co-manage some of those things together. So talk a little bit about what I've said. I'll never live in Gatton, never marry a farmer, never, always people have children later in life to fulfil their life. I thought they were idiots. Never going to do that. They're nuts. And people always say never mix family with business. You hear it all the time. But it can work, and it does work. And with us, it's a team. We all do it together. So how do we make that work? We have a team approach to everything that we do. So management isn't necessarily your ownership hat goes off, and it's your role in the business. And through management meetings, financial meetings, shareholder meetings, we separate all of those. But as far as managing the business, we take that team approach. Values, again, that's really important to us. We have some really strong values and I suppose beliefs that we want to run our business by. It's not always financially the best option, but that's what we believe in. So we try and enjoy the ride. So it is a little bit like surfing. At the moment we're riding the surfboard at the moment. We're feeling pretty good. Prices are nice, but we've had some pretty major dumps along the way. So we love the beach. That's our holiday every year, but sometimes you can go down that beach and get dumped and come up laughing, and other times you come up and you think you've just about died. So we've been in those positions in our business. We've really been dumped along the way, and probably our biggest dump was just after we bought the parent. So we basically valued our whole business, and then we bought it at market value. So that's how we bought the parents out. So they're having a great time. very lost debt. But a couple of years after that, we got dumped big time, and we got done for a lot of money, and it was hard, but we've learned a lot from that. So through that, we had a customer that basically did 100% of what we did in one of our lines, and for 13 years it worked, but you know, it came to an end pretty abruptly, and taught us a bit along the way. So diversification, not putting all your eggs in one basket, all those things you hear about is something we learned from that, and so we will never do that again. We've said the word never again, but we'll see what happens. Another thing we try and do is get out of the bubble every now and then. So whether that's something like this, you know, coming away to conventions, family life, making sure you have your holidays, you know, even just getting out to the movies, just get out of that bubble, because it is all consuming. It is your life. You can sort of be so consumed with work that you don't see outside. So we try and get out every now and then. And then those normal things like planning and communication. So usually if there's anything wrong in our business, I'm normally the one to start the arguments. But it usually boils down to communication. So someone's not communicating with someone else. And so even with we've just implemented this year we seem to have a lot of people cutting broccoli, and so some people would know something happened and some people wouldn't, so we've just implemented right as soon as there's something we all get a text, so we all know. So little things like that just make such a big difference. I actually got a text on the way down, someone's got their thumb this morning. That happens. Unfortunately, work covers a no-fault system, but workplace health and safety is completely different. So I think some of our backpackers are wising up to that a little bit. So as far as the value chain, I'm not going to go into this in too much depth because it's absolutely endless. Depending on where you are, what you're doing, what your role is, there's opportunities everywhere. Everything's changing all the time. Things don't stay the same for too long, and there's obviously challenges. So that's probably a topic that we could go into for hours and things like that. So it was more just about who we are, what we do. Succession for us has been a really positive. There's a lot of people our age in farming that still don't own anything, so we're really proud of that, even though it is challenging and it's hard, but we just sort of make it work. So I've said never a lot in my life, and you end up going back and doing something you never said that you would do or never wanted to do, but I've just learned not to be afraid of that. You know, what you think today isn't necessarily what will be part of your values in the future, and enjoy the ride, because it will be a ride. You will get dumped and come up laughing sometimes, and sometimes come up not thinking you're going to get another breath. So, but we're riding the surfboard at the moment. We're the export's going really well because of the dollar, taking some product out of the domestic market, but we know that's not a long-term solution. The dollar can just change that pretty quickly. So enjoy what you do. Try not to get dumped on the way too much. And probably lastly, enjoy the speed bumps. So that's our little fella. He's in grade 1, and he's a lot of fun. He's brought a lot of fun to our workplace too. So that's us.
Thank you very much.